How's it going, YouTube? Welcome back to another video on the channel, and today I'm going to teach you how to get to this board with only 40 cards. P.U.N.K, Tear, Spright, Danger. You just put everything together in this format like a cake recipe, and it just works. I couldn't decide on what to play this format, and I didn't actually have all the cards needed to build every deck as it's supposed to be, so I just put the ratios I had in one deck, cut it down to 40 cards, and this is it. This is the creation, and it ends up on insane boards. Before we begin, make sure to leave a thumbs up on this video, subscribe. This one is the second most requested deck from my poll. The other one you can already see on my channel from yesterday, the Spright Runic deck, and let's jump right into the profile. So what this deck does is just utilizes all the engines within it. It's sort of like 2004 decks. It almost looks like a GOAT deck because it's just a pile of random one-offs, and it just works together because cards are so strong and they do so much. They just work together. So we have the one Rhino Heart, we have the two Chiron, and we have 3 Merle, which is really important in this deck because you can climb up to Totally Awesome with this card, and it also is an extender for your Spright monsters. And we have, of course, 3 Happiness. This is the basic Tearlaments lineup, and for the Spright lineup, we have 1 blue, 1 jet, 1 carrot, 1 red, and 1 starter. This is all you need. You have enough level 2s and extenders to get to either one of these. You have Chaos Ruler to get you any one of these. You don't need more in order to keep the 40 card limit and keep the deck very, very consistent. In addition to that, we also have our frogs. We're only playing 3 here. We want the graveyard effect from Ronin Totem, we want the bounce from Swap, but we also have 3 Merle. You can get to Totally Awesome with Swap and Merle, or Ronin and Merle, or honestly, you can do it just with 2 Merles. So you don't have to play a lot of frogs, and you don't have to play the maximum amount. So this is the Frog Spright Tearlament portion of the list. And now we get to the fun part. We have, of course, the Onesie Ammon, we have the Deer Note, we have the Foxy Tune, and we have the Ogre Dance, and we have the most busted, broken card in current existence, Emergency Teleport. Get this card to 1 immediately. If you open this, this is it, simply an auto win. Then we have our dangers. We have the 2 Mothman. I wish I could play more, and I wish I could play Chupacabras. I just don't have any at the moment. I think Abyss Dweller and climbing up to Abyss Dweller with level 4s is the big selling point of this deck, I think. But this is currently what I have, so this is what I'm going to play with. We have the 2 Nessies, which work really well with Tearlaments. We have the 1 Jackalope and the 1 Bigfoot. This is the P.U.N.K Danger portion of the deck. And then one-offs, because this deck can utilize so many broken cards. Snow, ban this card. Ban this card immediately. We have Shinobi Necro to climb up to Barone really, really fast. And we have Zephyros the Elite, which again, broken. You mill this card, you get a level 3, you climb up to Dweller. Just unbelievably insane. Then we have a little bit of a board breaker here. We have Dark Ruler No More. And then we have another set of one-offs. We have Instant Fusion, Galaxy Cyclone. We have the Called by the Grave, and we have the Tearlaments Sulik. For the extra deck, we have the 1 Gigantic Spright, the 1 Totally Awesome, the 1 Abyss Dweller. This card might be the MVP of the deck. This should be an Abyss Dweller Turbo, right? It's not really hard to get to this card, but if you have this card in addition to everything else you have on the board, just to protect it, you already won. This is what decks do today. They play from the graveyard. If you get this card on the board, you automatically win the game. We obviously have the Divine Arsenal AA Zeus, just to clear some boards because you can go up to it really easily, and this is a broken card, honestly. For the fusions, we have Garura, of course. We have the Kit Kalos, and we have the Drago Stapelia. I think this lineup is kind of perfect. Goro is broken. You can just link up with it and draw 1. This deck is absolutely insane. We have the 3 Spright Elf. I think this is crucial because you always end up on 1 and you just don't want to get out-resourced. This can start a combo from the graveyard. So you always want to make sure you don't get stuck without any of this. This is the best card in the extra deck for sure. So you always want to make sure you have access to it. Then for some more links, we have IP Masquerena, we have Crystron, Halki Fibrex, still broken. You don't need it, essentially, but it's really good to play with it. And we have Topologic Bomber Dragon to utilize the snow in the graveyard. And then for the Synchros, we have, of course, Chaos Ruler, which is broken here, and the Brown, which you can get up to really, really fast. So this is the main deck, the extra deck. Let's open a hand and play this deck out. So I'm actually gonna make sure I shuffle this deck really well, because we are milling here eventually, and we are kind of relying on our mills to some extent. So let's draw a 5-card hand as always and see what we are playing it, see how this deck performs, and what you can actually do with it. So we have Ogre Dance, we have Mothman, we have Blue, Dark Ruler No More, and Sheeran. So I think here I would definitely just start with the Ogre Dance. We are gonna normal the Zamin. It's not that bad, to be honest. And we're gonna search. We are gonna activate the effect and of course look for the Foxy Tune. Add that to our hand, paying 600 life points. Then from here we can honestly right now just get rid of the Dark Ruler, especially if we're going first, and go into our Chaos Ruler line. We are going to special summon our Deer Note, and this is the very, very basic P.U.N.K combo here. And now we are going to start milling. It's a 40-card deck. It's pretty small. You don't want to go up against Runic playing this, but we can just set up a board that is pretty much impenetrable. We can activate Chaos Ruler as Chainlink 1, and their Deer Note as Chain 2, targeting the Z Amin, and then we are going to mill 5. So we have Snow. Put the graveyard a little bit over here. Snow is our first mill, E-Telly as our second, Dark Ruler No More, Bigfoot, and as our 5th card we have Merly. And this is really, really good. We can already utilize Merly if we want to, but there's honestly not a really good target at the moment. So we're just gonna skip it for now and keep the Merly in the graveyard because we already have the Sheeran in hand, so we know we are going to mill more, and then we can have a chance to trigger off another Tearlaments to go into Kit Kalos. So what we're gonna do here, of course, is go into Halqifibrax. Halqifibrax is going to summon the Shinobi Necro from our deck. And then, check this out. We have a level 2 on board. We can go into blue. We just go into blue, special summon blue, and look for the Jet. So now we have a lot of things going at once. And what we want to do here, I think, is already go up into the Spright Elf with this. Spright Elf is going to remain here in this zone for the rest of the turn, and it's perfectly fine. You can't link summon using it when it's in the turn that it's link summon, but it doesn't really matter. We are going to banish the Shinobi Necro and the Foxy Tune in order to summon Chaos Ruler, and then we are going to trigger our Shinobi Necro, special summoning it because it was banished to activate a card effect, a monster effect in the graveyard, and then Chaos Ruler is going to be banished, Shinobi Necro is going to go to the graveyard, and we're going to get our first big booty on the board, Baron de Fleur. And we have still not used Elf in this point, and we are just going to keep going. We are going to get Jet, special summon it, and get our starter as our follow-up if we need another interaction in the future. Starter to hand, and now we need to mill something good to get us Kit Kalos to mill us a little bit more. Remember, we already also have Snow in the graveyard, so we are gonna summon the Sheeran, pitching the Mothman, and then our mills are going to be Swap, Ronin, and Rhinoheart, which is, I think, really, really good. We're not going to trigger anything from this effect because we don't have an additional Tearlaments card or monster in our hand, and this is perfectly fine. We already have Snow in the graveyard, right? So what we're going to do is just going to banish 7. We're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. This is really good. We're going to banish all of these and summon Snow. Snow is just perfect and amazing. And now we are going to go into the one and only Destroyer of Worlds. We have the Abyss Dweller. Okay, now we are done with this portion, and now we're just gonna go into a Spright combo. So basically what we can do now is just go into Gigantic. We have an additional frog in our deck, which we definitely want to get out of the deck. So what we're gonna do is summon it with gigantic Spright. We can also do Merly if we want, honestly. We can also do red here, but we are going to go with the Swap Frog because already we don't have a lot of room to play with. So here at this point, we are going to activate Elf and get the Merly from our graveyard. We're just going to overlay these two, absolutely broken, and we're going to go into Totally Awesome. And then the last thing that we are going to do, and this is, I can't believe this is the combo and this is the board. It's just hilarious. We are going to banish the Swap Frog, summoning the Ronin Totem, and then just linking these off for IP Masquerena. And if we want to extend, we can just go into Spright Starter. We're just going to run out of room on our board, but we can go into red if we want to, just to make sure we have that extra negate. So what you end up on is Spright Elf protecting IP and Baron. We have Abyss Dweller, which is absolutely underrated and broken. We have Totally Awesome that we can revive again with Elf, and we have red. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 interruptions and snow in the graveyard, and just with a pile of random engines stuck together, put together. It's kind of insane. So hopefully you enjoyed this deck profile of my PTSD deck, the P.U.N.K, Tier, Spright, Danger deck list that I've created. Thank you for watching. As always, leave a comment down below. What do you thought about this combo? What do you thought about this deck? And hopefully I'll see you again next time. Peace.